Very creepy. They're actually pretty good. I've been listening to them. Well, I got a roll and a budding lunch meat, corned beef, for about $1.13. So I got to pick up some frozen custard. Stephen Hawking talked about a tear in the universe and time and space. He also, I think, at least acknowledged dark matter. So time travel is simple to understand. It's not very difficult, but you have to take the time out of it. It's a spatial issue. So you have what's known as a spatial opening in the dark matter, which is void. It's the opposite of existence. Think of a 3D printer and let's say a DNA printer that's similar to a 3D printer. Because this certain computer would be able to understand algorithms to heighten
Police
rhythm.
reported ahead.
Oh, for the love of mercy. So that basically it would be able to understand the rhythm of the genetic code or anatomical code. Excuse me, I can't really say it, but it would be able to understand this code. The computer would. It'd be able to regenerate, just like a 3D printer, into this spatial opening in dark matter, which is the opposite of existence. You cannot reproduce it in this existence, but you can in the opposite of existence. But you can't think of things as existing and non-existing. Okay? The non-existent would actually exist in this. Spatial opening in dark matter. It'd be recreated with this 3D printer of genetic code. Because it could understand the rhythm of a certain time or a certain spatial time. For example, if we had a cloth, a piece of Abraham Lincoln's coat, it would understand the rhythm of that. But it would also be able to predict the rhythm around it. So it'd be able to create that time. So we'd be able to go into that spatial opening of dark matter, just as if we were able to go into another time and space. But I say you take the time out of it, it's a spatial transfer. So you're transferring genetic code or anatomical code, meaning what we're already doing with 3D printers, but we're doing it with genetic code alongside of a 3D printer kind of thing. We recreate this existence again, which could mimic another existence. Thus you have time travel. Does it exist? Yeah, because dark matter supposedly is being investigated, but you wouldn't be able to do any of it without studying dark matter and without being able to see dark matter and know and track it. The same thing we did with when Einstein talked about light having a relation to mass, right? And speed, which is the speed of light. He talked a lot about the speed of light and mass, and there was a relation between those two things. This would be understanding the opposite of existence, which is dark matter, and that it could be recreated. We, in a way, would be playing kind of like God and recreating another existence for certain purposes, mostly for storage, but also maybe for military development, things like that, and for travel. It would probably be linked into going into deep space or going into another part of the universe we've never been into, and we'd be able to use this to our advantage to help us travel as well, for storage purposes, maybe of fuel. We could transport people from one point to another using the spatial opening in dark matter. It's coming from a theory of Stephen Hawking's, the chair in the universe, his theory in that. It's also coming from the theory of Einstein's understanding the relationship between light and mass, which most people don't understand. E equals mc squared anyway. They're thinking, okay, that's energy. That's easily explained. Not necessarily, because in dark matter, the energy is not there. It's void. But yet it can be traced because of it being the opposite of energy. Think of a person standing in a field and they're shadow being, reflected, or shadow doesn't reflect, but light is being obstructed and a shadow is being created. That shadow, it can represent what is known as dark matter, the opposite of existence. So this formula would have to be developed using certain vocabulary like spatial opening of dark matter or blah, blah, blah. But understanding that it could be there is the same reason why we were able to eventually have nuclear power, understanding nuclear science, or understanding that nuclear energy existed, because we could explore the aspect of mass, right? Because Einstein was saying different things about mass. That light was mass. What's he talking about? That there were things inside of light. There were things inside of the atom, which were the nuclear electronics, or the nuclear electrons, protons and neutrons. All those things are inside of atom. This would, of an atom, of a single atom, okay? This would be understanding that there is a way to manipulate dark matter, and that there's a spatial opening there. But first we'd have to be able to see dark matter, and that's where we'd be able to progress. Basically, I'm talking about recreating spatial existence and another type of existence, which is to be the opposite of existence. And that's the tear that Stephen Hawkins talked about. This was a street my friend Scro used to live on. I thought that was kind of cool. Lived down there. Had Andy's frozen custard since 1986. I don't see a speaker though. Please order at the drive-thru window. Okay, I wouldn't be here that long if I didn't see that sign. They've got quite a bit of toppings too. Roasted pecans, Bordeaux cherry, brownie cheesecake, ooey gooey mix. They're premium toppings too. If you want a topping, you want it premium. So we got that custard, and we're gonna drop it off at the door, and we're gonna call this one a quick wrap. So this is a quick one about dark mass and time travel. I'm trying to think. Spatial opening and dark matter for the purpose of time travel. I don't know, maybe I'll say, yeah, I'll just say that because it's more general. Spatial opening and dark matter for the sake of, I'll say time travel, even though it's not exactly that. It's mostly spatial transfer. So somewhere in there in the parentheses, I'll say something about spatial transfer, where we can transfer from one space to another, meaning from one existence to another. And maybe I'll try to write something about it one day, too. Okay. This house looks pretty cool. I don't know, I like that house, it's pretty cool. Let's wrap. Have a good night. Why would anybody want to be a filmmaker, right? There's reasons why, right? One reason may be, is it for empathy? For understanding? Are we filmmakers to be, is it for justice or for forgiveness? What are our reasons? What are we trying to do? Storytelling? Entertaining? Is it evangelical? Or is it just for fun? Why would it be fun? Regardless of it all, storytelling is one of the reasons. Why was Jesus here? For the same purpose. He told parables. He told stories. So it probably fits in there somewhere. It's important.